This lesson is on finding the volume of rectangular prisms. A prism is a three-dimensional object. As you can see here, this here is a three-dimensional object. That is opposed to a two-dimensional object like that. This is a rectangle. And if you notice that on this shape, I can trace out a rectangle. And if you take a look, this rectangle has another rectangle behind it, which 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 has another rectangle behind it. In fact, it has 6 rectangles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 rectangles, the same shape, going this way. I can also look at it going this way, where I trace out on this end and I find it is another rectangle, and it is 6 across and 8 up, and this rectangle goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe that's why they say this is 14 across, because there are 14 rectangles going this way. So that is a three-dimensional shape. It has length, it has width, and it has height. So you have length and width, just like you would on a rectangle, and then it has height, this distance right here. So I'm sorry, this should be the length and this should be the width, this going down right here. So what you're really looking at is not this rectangle here on the side. What you're looking at is this rectangle here. This rectangle right here sits here on the bottom. You can't see, it's hidden, so I drew it here on the top. And there are 8 of these rectangles stacked up. So this rectangle right here, this is the base. It is what this shape sits on, the base or the bottom of this shape. And it has length and it has width. It also, because it is stacked up, has height. So you have length, width, and height, and this is also known as the base and the height of the rectangle itself, just like this is the base and the height of the rectangle. So you have volume equals the area of the base, that's this rectangle here on the bottom that you can't see, times the height, how many times it's stacked up. So let's break that down. So you have this shape here at the bottom, this rectangle, and it is, we can fill in the information for that, it is 14 across, and it is 6 wide. So we have this here, we have 14 times 6, and then we have the height, and the height is this right here, which is 8. And if you multiply this, you will get the height. So what are the steps to solving volume? You first ask, what is the shape of the base? Well, you can tell this shape is a rectangle. What is the formula for the area of that shape? The formula for the area of a rectangle is area equals length times width, or area equals base times height. You need to know both of those, but they're both the same. And then you write that formula down and then find the area of the base. So area equals 14 times 6. So we find that area. 14 times 6. 14 times 6 is 84. That is the area of the base. And then you need to multiply that times the height. And the height is, so times height, the height is 8. So then it is 84 times 8, which is 672. So the area, or the, I'm sorry, not the area, the volume of this is 672, and if this is centimeters, it is centimeters squared. Let's see if we can get a better understanding of this. Remember back when we started talking about area of rectangles and squares and parallelograms, we said the base and the height. So we notice this here is 1 unit across and 1 unit tall. So the area of this is area equals 1 times 1. So the area of this is 1 1 inch, we call this an inch, 1 inch squared. So you have 1 square inch here. Now if you start placing these in series so that now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have 5 across, 1, 2, 3, you have 3 high. You can multiply the area of this as area equals base times height, or area equals 5 times 3, or area equals 15 inches squared, or sorry, 15 square inches. Each one of these is 1 inch, and it is in the shape of a square, so 15 square inches. Let's take a look at this cube. Now we know that we have 1 inch squared. This is a two-dimensional object. And if we take that and we lay it down flat down here like this, we start and we stack, go up 1 height, 1 inch this way, we have 1 cubed inch. So this here is 1 times 1 times 1, or it is area equals 1 times 1 times 1, or area equals 1 inch cubed to the third power. This here is 1 inch to the second power because you're multiplying 1 times 1. This here is 1 inch to the third power because it is 1 times 1 times 1. And that's what 1 to the third power means. It means that what you're doing is multiplying this 3 times, just like we did here. Then let's take that same theory and multiply it by this, so that if we start stacking these cubes and placing them next to each other, well, we have 3 up, we have 4 this way, and we're going 5 across. We have an area, or volume, because there's no longer area, we have a volume of 3 times 4 times 5. We're 3 up, 4 across, 4 this way, and 5 this way. So if you multiply all those, you have a cubed shape that creates the volume of this figure. So this says to find the volume of each rectangular prism, don't forget to label the units. So let's go over this step by step to see what you're going to do on the homework. So the area of the base is the length times the width. So we have a base down here, and it is a rectangle. They've already written down the formula for you, length times width. And so it is 3 times 3. And 3 times 3 equals 9. So the area equals 9. And a centimeter squared. So we've got that labeled. And then we have to multiply this area times the height. So that is 9 times, and the height is 6. 9 times 6 equals 54. And this is in centimeters, so centimeters cubed. And that's all you have to do.